Today, a devastating blow to a woman trying to plead her case in a case that dates back to the mid-1980s. She served 4 years for a felonious assault charge, was released and went to work. Betty Hines says her name, signed on a form that ultimately entered the guilty plea, had been forged. The conviction would show up years later and cost her a job.
I was a home health aide. I graduated 2002. In 2013, the law changed. I didn't do anything wrong, but the law changed, preventing me to work in that healthcare field, and because of it, I lost my job.
In 2014, Betty Hines unsuccessfully filed for an expungement. She tried a different route in 2020, which is when she says she retrieved documents from the Franklin County Courthouse and saw someone else had signed her name and entered the guilty plea.
Ever since then, I've been seeking to try to find out the truth of what happened, how I was convicted.
The events of the case date back to August of 1985. Franklin County court records detail the story that Hines, then Betty Albert, used a knife to cause serious harm to her brother. The charge, felonious assault. The judge sentenced her 3 to 15 years in Marysville. She served 4. Hines says she acted in self-defense.
Paperwork came to me in 2020 showing that there was a guilty plea contract signed with my name on it, and I did not sign it. And ever since then, I've just been trying to, get to the bottom of it and find out what happened.
Hines says in 1986, she had asked her public defender to get a March hearing rescheduled.
There's a court entry that says that she appeared in court on March 19th. There's no transcript to show that she entered a plea to anything.
I told her to please reschedule it because I'm caring for my mother. I was pregnant and I had my sons there. And she said, okay, come in on May the 1st of '86. I said, okay.
While Hines recalls arriving to court May 1st for what turned out to be a sentencing hearing, the transcript says the hearing took place a day earlier. The signature on the entry of guilty plea form, Hines's maiden name, Betty Albert.
First I thought, I don't remember this paper. I've never seen this paper before. And then I kept looking at the signature and kept looking at it, and I'm like, this is not my signature.
Hines told me she called a private detective who told her to get a polygraph.
I did the stress test first, and they confirmed that I never went to the plea hearing, which I know I didn't go to it. But then it also revealed that I was telling the truth, that I didn't sign that paper.
She hired a handwriting expert.
The handwriting analysis proved that that was not my signature.
The test compared Hines's known signatures throughout the years to the one on the form that led to the guilty plea. The examiner concluded the questioned signature of Betty J. Albert was not written by the same hand that wrote the comparison signatures, and goes on to say the questioned signature carries similarities in slant, letter height, position, spacing, skill level, and writing fundamentals to the signatures of Doris Clanton, Hines's public defender.
There's something wrong with this. So if there's something wrong with her, how could she be the only one that this has happened to?
Because she, according to the signed form, pleaded guilty, Potts' client didn't have a chance to defend herself in court.
I don't think she got a fair opportunity to present her case.
When I lost my job in 2013, it really just shook my whole world because, I lost my job because of this charge. And they said I can only come back to work in that field if this charge is removed from my record.
Well, today the judge denied Hines's motion to withdraw her plea and have the conviction set aside, saying her claims are contradictory and defy logic and that Hines has had over 30 years to present her claims. The judge's opinion suggests that if Hines has led a law-abiding life and had no other convictions, perhaps the state and defense could agree on some resolution to allow her to expunge the case if she were allowed to withdraw her plea agreement and plead to some other offense. Attorney Potts says he's contacted the prosecutor's office to begin that conversation. When I asked about that this afternoon, a spokesperson for the office told me we have no comment at this time. And we should mention Hines's brother, public defender, and the original trial judge are deceased.